It's time to talk about Paddy Pimblett, okay? If he's your favorite fighter or you're anticipating him being some kind of crazy world champion, dominant fighter, you might want to pay attention and lower your expectations. But I'm not here to talk about him specifically, his fighting style. We know he just fought Michael Chandler. But what I just read made me just have to talk about Paddy Pimblett, because I've always had these thoughts about him, but now the shit that he's saying, he needs to be talked about. And essentially his time has come to be exposed as a non-marketable, never becoming UFC champion fighter. He just had an interview, and in the interview, this man has the audacity to say that Ilia Topuria has been hand-fed UFC fighters to become a champion. And when I heard that, there are certain things you can say as a UFC fighter where fans would be like, okay, he's just saying that, to get some traction, this and that. It's kind of acceptable, even though, it's like a little bit not that acceptable. But to hear some shit like that is just absolutely, it makes Paddy Pimblett look stupid. You can't say stuff that's controversial if it makes you look stupid. How is Volk a hand-picked fighter? How is Max Holloway a hand-picked fighter? Those are the two most dominant and, in my eyes, best champions the featherweight division has ever seen. Ilia Topuria personally broke my own heart beating Max Holloway in that fight. I was devastated because Max is my favorite fighter. But Ilia Topuria, whether I like him or not, he is the real fucking deal. And you remember the days where Paddy Pimblett threw a damn lotion bottle or hand sanitizer bottle at him? They were basically both on the come up. And look where Ilia Topuria is now, and look where Paddy Pimblett is now. Just look at their records, who they fought. I just named two of the most dominant featherweight fighters of all time. Who's Paddy Pimblett fought? I had to pull up his record because I don't even know who he's fought. So yeah, he fought Jordan Levitt, Jay Gordon, I've heard of him, I don't know his first name, Jay Gordon, Tony Ferguson, King Green, Bobby Green, and Michael Chandler. And Ilia's been hand-fed fighters to become a champion? Are you mentally dumb? It's just like, I don't like Paddy Pimblett. I really don't. If we're being completely honest, and you're a fan of him, why was there any hype behind Paddy Pimblett? I can tell you exactly why. Because Conor McGregor was the biggest UFC superstar ever, and he came from Ireland. Now, I know Paddy Pimblett is not from Ireland, but you know that the UFC loves to promote fighters who have that weird accent, that Scottish, that Scouser, that Irish accent. And that's all Paddy Pimblett is. He only has an accent. He fought Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is done. He's used up in the UFC. The UFC used him up like a prostitute in GTA. Now they just put him up against up-and-comers so they can look good against him. And that's all that Paddy Pimblett has done. If Paddy Pimblett ever becomes a title contender and would be lucky enough to go up against Ilia, he will never be relevant or talked about again. And just to see the dumb shit he just said, that Ilia has hand-picked, hand-fed opponents, Paddy Pimblett, no one cares about you. You're only relevant because you have an accent, because Conor McGregor led the way. But the UFC hasn't even been promoting Paddy like they used to when he was on the up-and-coming. Because I think they're starting to realize just promoting someone because of their accent, it's not going to work. If you do think I'm reaching, if you do think I'm being unfair or biased and I just don't like Paddy Pimblett, time will come. I've said so many things about how the UFC is unfolding, who's going to win, who's going to lose, who's already washed up. Just in my last video, I told you guys Gilbert Burns was washed up, and that's why JDM looked good. He just got absolutely destroyed in one round. I see what is happening, and you can comment what you want today, but you don't know what the future will hold and how Paddy Pimblett will look against top contenders, and he will ultimately fade out just like Sean O'Malley. These are people that have hype based on looks, accents, appearance, but there's no real substance to them, and that's what you'll see from Paddy Pimblett.